Hello, welcome to Board Games with Niramas. Today it's time to unbox Star Wars Rebellion. This game by Corey Konitsia and Fantasy Flight Games. This is a huge box, so let's just get started. Let's get in there. This game is just massive. I played it a bit because I played with friends' copies, and so finally I got my own. And I thought let's do an unboxing because this is something to watch. If you haven't seen this game, then you should check out. Just keep watching here because there's so much stuff in this game. And I'm going to do a run through in the future as well. This is a two-player game, and it's one of those. It's a two-player game, but it's not a quick, easy game to just play. It's not that hard to get into and learn actually, but there's it's quite long and there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so we have some books. I love how Fantasy Flight does this with Learn to Play, rules reference. It's the same with Imperial Assault, of course. Here we have the sort of character sheets. So we have the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire. This is your player sheet where you can see how much things different troops cost and so on. So some punch outs to do here, and it's a bit hard. I'm going to try to move the camera because it's so huge. And here's the board. I'm going to go into that later on as well. That is massive. Some cards. And a lot of plastic miniatures. Really cool ones. I'm going to paint these. I think I'm going to just wash them. I think I'm just going to wash them with black or something just to make them look a little bit prettier. They're really cool as they are, but I don't want to paint them in detail. That would take me a year or something. And some dice, and that's some more cards. But that's it in the box. It's not that much stuff, to be honest. But still, it's so. I mean, this is. I know that Tom Vasel at the Dice Tower, he used to call this game Star Wars in a box, which I mean, it's sort of like in Imperial Assault, you play you're on the ground playing the troops and all that, and in X-Wing and the Armada, you're up in the fighting with the ships and all that. In this game you have everything at once. So you have the Death Star. This is about to be built. There's a finished Death Star as well. You have to assemble these things here, but there's a bunch of different ships. There's ground troops, stormtroopers, some base, and yeah, a lot of cool stuff here. You have an X-Wing, right? So some rebel troops, lot of stuff. This almost feels like you know, when I was a child and I was like, I got some new toys and just so cool with all this stuff. And as I said, I think these will look great. I mean, they look good already, but I think it will look even better with some black wash on these, just to enhance the details. Okay, and let's look at some cards. So we have the small cards here. They are for combat, and they are also, there's also a probe deck here. So these are sort of character cards. Like every character has, like here's Han Solo, and he has a special thing there on his card. And we have the Imperial guys, their cards. And here we have the Pro deck. Is sort of where the goal of the game for the rebels is to stay away and hide for until a certain amount of rounds happens and so on. And the Empire player, he's going to try to find the rebel base, and so it's going to be hidden somewhere, and he's going to be able to send up probes to get information on where the rebel base is not. So it's sort of deduction there as well. Really fun. Try to figure out where the rebels are. Here's some. Oh, here's the combat cards. Yeah, so you can play combat card like deal 1 damage. Or there's blockage in here. There's card for the ground battle and for the sort of ships and all that. So you separate that, and there's an expansion out as well that I'm going to get my hands on, and I will show you that one in another video, because then combat changes a bit. I think I haven't played that one yet, but here we have, let's see, here we have like different kinds of assignments that you can send your heroes on. And let's do it from this side. And here we have like missions, so on. So here's like projects. You can construct a superstar destroyer if you're the Empire playing this project. Let's see, from this side I'm going to just there we go. So here we have the rebel cards, and it could be like yeah, you can send out your one of your heroes, with the heroes of rebellion, to do an infiltration. Then you will so on and so on. I can't explain the game now because that would take too long, but it looks really great, really good quality on the components, as you would expect from Fantasy Flight. And I think the game is, I mean, I like the fact that the game is a two-player game, because it's not that hard to get on the table, and even though it takes a long time, I think I played this between, I don't know, 3, 4 something, up to 5 hours, something like that. So that's a whole night, but it's a real nice night, just or evening. Let's see, here's the punching out. I'm just going to show you the characters here. So we have, well, that's why you have all of these standees. You put them on, you have these cardboard. I like this. The heroes are not figures, you don't need to paint them. So here we have the heroes. They have a certain value here of a skill that they're good at. They are good at, like this guy is pilot, of course. I don't remember, well, Wedge Antilles, yeah. So he's good. He's really good at, he will draw 3 cards for the aerial combat and 1 for the ground battle. So you want to send him out when you're going to fight with your ships. Here's of course our old friend Chewie, and he's a bit better at the ground battle. He's really strong as well, as you can see by the fist there. Luke, on the other hand, he has just 1 strength, but he has some like or observation skill or whatever it's called, and he's sort of more balanced. So here's like the older Luke. He can upgrade, sort of. He can go to Dagobah and meet Yoda. And it's so thematic, this game. That's why I like this game so much, because there's good components and there's so much theme in it. And yeah, this is, if you blow up a planet with Death Star, then you're going to get a dead planet. Yeah, okay, so let's see, what of these, oh yeah, these are cool as well. This is like, I think it's this one that is sort of the Carbonite, whatever it's called. So if you, if the Empire captures a rebel leader, you can put this on and he freezes them in Carbonite, right? So you don't have to do it to Han Solo, you can do it to any one of them. There's so much cool stuff in this game. And there's so much game in it. I mean, it's sort of like a deduction game. It's a game of combat. You will have big fights going on, playing cards, rolling dice, all that stuff. But at the same time, it's also a sort of battle of the minds, because you have to try to figure out where the rebel base is hidden. If you're the Empire and if you're the rebel, you need to sort of make diversions, make the Empire player think that you're somewhere where you're not, and so on. Really cool. The board is actually split in 2 because it's so huge. So you need quite a table to play this as well. So I'll just show you this one. Here we have, let's see it like that. Here we have the planets and all that. And we have the rebel base, it's hidden somewhere here. We have a time tracker sort of when the game will end. And we have different planets have produced different types of units. So by controlling them, you can get your production going, get more units and so on. As I said, this is just half the map. You're going to keep building it to the side there, so it's massive. And yeah, that's what's in Star Wars Rebellion in the box. I think I will end it here, but I will be back with a run through for this great game. Really cool game, and I know that Rock was excited for that as well. He will be able to put on his cloak, have his lightsaber, and be the rebel again. So, well, I look forward to that. But there's a lot of things in the queue, so I won't promise anything when it comes, but in the near future. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great evening, morning, or whenever you're watching this. Take care. Bye-bye.
Do you want to keep this little dragon this happy all day long? Then subscribe to the channel. Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.